It says I'm live, and I'm blurry as well. So let's see if there. You know what? Maybe it was better with me blurry. Oh my god, this light is not flattering at all. Um, I'm actually a much better looking guy in person than I am on my videos because I do such terrible lighting jobs on all this stuff. But hello, everybody. And I just wanted to do one final live stream of the year to say hi and thank you all for, participating in my channel, for your likes and your subscriptions and your comments and your overall support. I really do appreciate it. And I know that it's been rough for some of us. I know that it's been good for some of us. I know some rotten things happened this year, on the global stage, but personally, I really hope that your year was good. And if it wasn't, let's hope for a better 2022 for you, right? Feel free to jump in on the chat. I want to, try to answer any questions you guys might have for me here as the last video of the year. Happy New Year to you, Joey. Um, yeah, anybody who wants to jump in and talk, that's fine. And if you could do me a favor, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. That would be super groovy of you. I've got my coffee and I'm enjoying that. It's been a push, Mark says. Well, yeah, I know you've had quite a year over there in Indy, Mark. I know that some people have. It hasn't been a great year for a lot of people, but again, like I said, overall, I feel like that we had a good year over here. I feel like it was a lot better than the previous, and I had some really unique opportunities pop up that I was really happy about. I talked about that in another video I did a while back. What's up, Chris? Happy New Year to you. Thank you. DJ Pretty Boy, Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. And on this channel, I will just say that I don't do a lot of special, crazy, high production videos. I do try to do helpful videos and insightful videos. Sometimes I just post stuff because I want to post it. It really has nothing to do with, whether it's going to be a big hit or not. It has to do with just something I want to do. I enjoy doing those kind of videos. I enjoy putting up stuff about the car, or just some thoughts I have on music or whatever that may not necessarily be a teaching tool for you, but it's something that I enjoy doing. So I put it up. Happy New Year's from Germany. Hey, geez, you guys are about down to the wire. You got about 2 hours left before 2022 in Germany. If I'm thinking right, you're like 8 hours ahead of me, I think. Maybe seven. I can't remember. But it's a lot closer for you than it is for me. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, or 1300 for those of you who count military time. Uh, let's see. Jadeep, regards, respect, and love from India. Hey, man, what's going on? 2022 is already here. Oh, yeah, it is. You guys are 2022. How's it looking over there? Is it looking good? Hoping for a much better 2022. Well, here's the question. Is it better already? Because you're already there. You're a few hours in. Is it better already? Oh, okay. So it's 20 in Germany right now. So that's I think 8. So you've got 4 hours left. We do it like in 12-hour cycles in the US. I know in Europe you guys do it in 24-hour cycles. Oh, you got a venue mothership. Those are fun. I think they're a cool little effect light. It's a budget light, but I think it's unique. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know. I was happy to do the video for the folks over at Guitar Center. They actually reached out to me and they said, "Look, we've got something we think is kind of cool. Have a look at it, see what you think. If you like it, we'd like you to, show it to people." So, well, of course, if it's cool, and if it's not, I'll do the common courtesy of not doing a video at all on it, which is, kind of my style. If I get something that I think is rubbish, why would I show it to you? I've got stuff down here right now in my way that I've gotten from companies that I won't do a video on because, quite frankly, I don't think it's good. I've recently gotten things from companies that I didn't think was good. And it sucks because they're looking at me like I'm the bad guy because I'm not doing a video for them. But I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm doing you a favor for not doing a video on this. This is not a good product. This is not something I'd recommend to anybody or anything I'd suggest anybody even look at. And it doesn't necessarily mean I have to see value in something, but I have to kind of try to figure out if there's value in it for anyone. And some of the stuff, no, I don't think there's value in it for anyone. So they just don't get videos. All right. Adrian, what's going on? Hey, Adrian, you're all over my videos. I really appreciate that. Your comments and your continued support. Thank you so much. Patrick, looking forward to reattending occupational therapy in January. Had a stroke back in 2016 and started watching your channel from the hospital. Yeah, that the weird thing about it, Patrick, for me is that I am now over 10 years in, and I do have to do things differently than most people. I have to think things out differently than most people do. But it's really kind of a I don't want to say it's a non-issue because there are issues that always pop up, but I'm so used to it. It's part of my routine. It doesn't affect my mood. It doesn't cramp my style. It gets me out of things. It definitely gets me out of things. There's things that I don't have to do anymore because oh well he's not able to or whatever. And I have to admit that that doesn't upset me too much. That I don't have to do a lot of the physical labor, moving of furniture and things that I used to have to do. Um, but I'm still very capable, and I do a lot of things that I enjoy doing. And I've had to find workarounds for things. So there's not much that I can't do that I want to do. There are some things that I probably could do if I really tried, but I don't want to, so I don't have to. So I kind of, I don't know, I balanced it out like that. But I'm glad you're doing well, and I appreciate you watching the videos. And if there's something that I can ever do for you, please let me know. If there's something you need some insight on, please let me know. I will do my best to help you out. And it's tough too because we really have to be our own advocates. There's nowhere you can really go where they're going to say, "Oh, just do it like this," because they don't know. They're not in your shoes. They don't know what you can and can't do. They don't know how you feel. So you've really got to kind of evaluate this stuff for yourself and be your own advocate. It's very important. It's 12 past midnight here. Oh, got a curfew there. People are celebrating in their own houses. We can hear what they're playing. Really looking forward to a better 2022. Yeah, I am too. I'm hoping it's better for everybody. I'm hoping everybody has a great 2022. We have it coming. Come on, we've had a couple rotten years, where things haven't been quite what we wanted them to be. But I don't know. I'm just seeing like light at the end of the tunnel. I really truly am. I'm not just saying that to try to be this optimistic, guy is trying to uplift you. I really do honestly see that this is going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. It's just going to take some time, but we're going to be okay. By the time 2023 rolls around, it'll be like, yeah, whatever. I mean, we're getting closer. And yeah, there's the Omicron thing, but I don't think that's going to be a very long lived thing. I think it's going to be a relatively short lived thing. I mean, not like I'm a doctor, because I'm definitely not, nor do I play one on TV, but I just feel like from what I've seen that and what I've been hearing from news sources and people who seem to know what they're talking about is this is going to pass. Been using this time to prep and do maintenance on equipment. That's what you're supposed to do with downtime. And I think I'm pretty good, although I'm probably missing things. So now I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be creative with the videos and even thinking about music and listening to music. I guess it's kind of like prep. I've been thinking about different things to talk about. There's one thing that I've been thinking about, and I don't know. I don't know if it's anything anybody would be interested in or not, but you guys probably, I don't know if you guys know Jay Brannon or not. We do a show together on This Shucky News, usually like every Thursday at 9 p.m. Central US time. And we also are very often on hanging with Howie Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time as well, like every single week. Well, Jay, he has been a DJ since the 90s. He started with CDs. He works for Pioneer DJ. And he and I were talking the other day about turntables, how he's getting into it. And he's thinking about doing all record events or offering this service to his clients. And he was talking about how he really wants to learn to scratch so he can do this. And I found it funny because, I came from, using records at gigs and we did a lot of things. We would loop, we would blend, but what we didn't do was scratch. I mean, not a lot, not in my world anyway. People did scratch. It happened. It was very much a hip hop thing, but it wasn't like something you just did all the time. Um, and I don't know if people who have controllers feel like that, that's part of turntablism. Not necessarily. There are other ways to spin records. You don't have to be a scratch guy to play with records. And then it got me thinking about, wow, this guy's been, he's proficient with all of these Pioneer DJ controllers. I wonder if he even knows why the things these controllers do are cool. I wonder if there's a DJ out there who's never had to, loop a record with two copies. If they know how cool just pressing in and out is on a controller or a program like VDJ or Serato, and I wonder how cool they 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 realize how cool it is to be able to just hit the flange button or the flange knob on a controller opposed to, you know, jetting two records. It's just something I was thinking about and I don't know how to express it. And it's tough too because I've got these decks here and I'd love to demonstrate some of this stuff, but I'm not sure if YouTube's going to flag me for it or not. So I got to do like a test to see if they're going to flag me. And if they're going to flag me, I can't do it. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but I thought if I could somehow come up with a way to express this in a video, I thought it might be interesting. It's all about just perspective. For somebody like me who started with turntables, I look at something like a controller and I say, wow, this is amazing. You do all this stuff with it. However, there are a lot of things on the controller that I'm thinking, I don't want to do that. I didn't do that with records. I didn't even aspire to do that with records. Why would I want to do it with a controller? And it's simple button pressing to make this stuff happen. Not to marginalize it, but compared to records, it's not as tough. It's much easier. So it's kind of about the creativity with the controller and maybe less about the technique itself, which is fine. I dig creativity. Creative is where it's at. Let's see. Do you still collaborate with Alaskans like you used to back in the day? I haven't talked to him in a while. Um, no, I haven't talked to him in a long time. Last time we spoke was probably, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so. He's doing very different things. I'm not even sure what's going on with his life right now. But no, I haven't spoke to him in a long time. DJ Tutor is who they're talking about. Still consider him a friend, but we're just doing very different things. So no, I haven't done anything with him for a long time. Um, let's see what else. A good afternoon. Yes, it is afternoon. It is 10 after 1. And like I said, this is my last live stream of 2021. I don't plan on doing another live stream, but I wanted to come on and give everybody a place to kind of hang out and jump into the chat if you want to. And please do jump into the chat. You can ask any questions you want. I will answer them. Happy to do it. That's what these live streams are for. If you're here while it's live, I'll post this as a regular video. What's up, Art? How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Now, not so sunny California, and hello from not so sunny Wisconsin. We are currently 35 degrees here. For those of you who are using Celsius, it's a few degrees, or maybe a degree or two above 0 Celsius. What do you see in your market, the DJ industry doing? In my market, it really hasn't changed much. It's for weddings, I think a lot of people really want the DJ to provide ceremony and reception. It's almost expected at this point. I think that a lot of people are finally starting to realize that they do need to pay up to get a DJ who's worthwhile. The budget DJs aren't going to deliver. So, if they can throw, an extra $1,000 or $1,500 at a problem on the most special day of their life, maybe that's the way to go instead of trying to, find that budget DJ. I think people are starting to understand it more and more. That's a good thing. That's a good positive thing. Just off the top of my head, those are some of the things that I guess I see. And the other thing is, uh, they want you to play for a long time. They want you there for the day. The days of going in and knocking out a 5-6 hour event, and those are few and far between. Most of the time, it's an all day commitment. There's an early ceremony. There's two setups, and yeah, you're there from probably you're leaving the house in the morning and you're getting home the next morning. It's not a 24-hour, but it's like a 13, 14-hour deal altogether. That's different. Might not have my first school dance. I might have my first school dance in 2022. Got contacted about doing a prom. Not sure how it'll go. Stressing a little. Proms are different, I guess. What's nice about a prom is typically the students are paying up for the ticket. It's not just like a homecoming dance or a winter formal or something, and it's not the underclassmen. It's typically your older kids. Schools are weird this year because well, I did a video about that earlier in fall, where it's like in the past the underclassmen would look to the upperclassmen on how to act when it came to dancing and what songs to respond well to and how to be cool and all that at a dance. But with all the quarantine we've had, a lot of these upperclassmen haven't even seen any other upperclassmen. It's like it's all fresh for everybody. The underclassmen are coming in, they're watching these upperclassmen who don't know what to do because they haven't experienced this because they're having dances and such. So it's been kind of weird. Um, in fact, I did the math, and it looks like in most places the only people who have had a full year of high school up to this year were the seniors, and they were freshmen at the time. So, this whole development thing that happens in high school, socially hasn't happened, because they've been going to school from home. So it's different. But in a way, it's refreshing. Part of it is kind of cool because a lot of the bad behavior isn't there. I've noticed in the schools that I did, but and that was homecoming stuff. But I will say that I'm really selective as to what markets that I play in. There are certain schools that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, but this particular district, the kids there are all really cool and respectful, and I really enjoy working with them. There are Milwaukee public schools that I no way, no way, absolutely not. But the school district I was working in, I really enjoy working with them. Let's see. We got some questions coming in here. Do you know if the maxis can be adjusted upwards or downwards on a tripod? The last video had me wondering. Of course they can. Yeah, they've got a yoke on them. You can put some kind of O clamp or something on them and put them on a tripod and aim them wherever you want with that yoke. Of course you can. You can do whatever you want with those maxis. They're just a par, but they do indeed have a yoke, and you can do whatever you'd like with them. Um, Feliz Nuevo. JC. What's up, dude? Feliz Año Nuevo. See, JC's Spanish is better than mine. It's probably because he lives in Mexico City. My good friend JC. He's a good dude. And I'm glad that you're here. Let's see. Are you gigging tonight? No, I'm not gigging tonight. I just did a video about that a couple days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember. I was trying to think of all the New Year's Eve gigs that I've ever done, going back to like 1984. And there are times where I haven't done them like in like 10-year blocks, but then there are times that I've done a lot of them. Um, Long story short, I was doing a New Year's Eve gig at Potawatomi Bingo Casino, which is right down the road from my house. It's in the city of Milwaukee in the Menominee River Valley, but I can hop on the freeway and I can be there in like less than 10 minutes. So super convenient. I know the guy there who's kind of the entertainment director. Good guy, manages the big Northern Lights theater stage where the national touring acts come in and stuff. There was a bar where he would have me play band breaks. So a band would go on for like an hour, I go on for an hour, a band would go on for an hour, I go on for an hour, or something like that. Sometimes it was an hour 20, sometimes it was 45 minutes, just depending on the schedule. I did that from like 2011 to 2018. And then they turned that particular bar into an indoor virtual golf driving range. So I have not been offered any other work there. I know there are other places to play there. I don't know where they are or what they're about, but I haven't been offered any other work there. I know they do this big, huge production thing there. Like it's massive. Like they're bringing in giant video walls and stuff. That is something I wouldn't be interested in doing anyway. But as far as small scale stuff like I like to do, I haven't had any other offers for that. And yeah, I don't just take the New Year's Eve gigs. And every time I get an offer for one, it's like 3 hours away. And I'm not going to drive 3 hours into the middle of nowhere to do some New Year's Eve gig for a bunch of rural people and then get a hotel and stay there by myself. That just doesn't sound like any fun at all. So I shy away from it. It's got to be the right New Year's Eve gig for me to take it. The other thing I was talking about was just it's like general hazards that are out there on New Year's that aren't out there normally. And the biggest part of it really is that it's kind of amateur night. There are a lot of people on the roads who aren't used to going out. Like they don't go out a lot, but they're going out because it's New Year's and they're overindulging, shall we say. And not only are they being idiots at the gig sometimes, but they're idiots on the road. So if I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I got idiots on the road and there's a weather problem and I'm several hours from home, that just sucks. So no. And I've joked around before. I've said, you know what? I'll do a New Year's Eve gig, anything you want, till 1 o'clock, and I'm done at one for $5,000. And if you're willing to pay that, I will be there. Otherwise, find yourself another sucker because I'm not that guy. And besides, I think Blanca really likes me to be around, for New Year's Eve and hang with me. If not with family and friends, just us, and that's nice. Let's see what do we got here. Let's see, proms are actually pretty sweet. Set up play music breakdown. The worst part is being able to filter the requests from the good ones and the bad ones, since they're usually newish songs. Um, well, the problem that I had, or I wouldn't call it a problem, but let's call it a situation or that I had was I really needed to make sure that I wasn't going to play anything that was going to trigger the faculty. And there were some things they had told me at one of the jobs that I had done that they managed to pull off a prom last minute last year despite the quarantine. And they brought a DJ in. The DJ played the unedited version of WAP, and the faculty came to him and said, "Please turn this off." And he said, "Hey, the kids requested it. This is what they want to hear." So they had to shut the prom down. Every school's different, but typically you don't play that stuff, edited or unedited. Maybe that's something to avoid. If you got any common sense, you know not to do that because that might cause problems. Play other things. Tell them I can't play that or I don't have it instead of playing it because it's what they asked for. Um, so it's a little tricky now with the music that's out there. It's not just as easy as playing the hits. You have to kind of use some common sense. And you don't want to do anything that's 5 hours long either. I think any of these school dances, 2.5 hours is probably as long as you'd want to go. Sometimes you end up going three, but yeah, if you go like 4 or 5 hours, it's just nothing to do. There's not enough appropriate music out there that they want to hear that you can fill in that gap, that particular age group. It's just not out there. Let's see here. Yeah, people don't know how to act since they haven't learned social, skills and behaviors. They don't, so it's kind of weird. Let's see, Alex. Hiya, Brian. I haven't been able to catch a live stream in a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope tonight and the weekend are good for you. Yeah, well, I'm just sitting at home. Blanca and I are just gonna watch something. We're gonna stream something. And I went out yesterday and I bought like stupid snacks like Cheetos and dip, and I did pick up some bratwurst. I need to go get some fresh buns. Um, I thought we'd have some bratwurst. Nothing special. This is just chill. Tomorrow we're not doing anything, and I think Sunday we're gonna go to my mother's and have a dinner. She's gonna cook a ham. She was talking about doing it on New Year's Day, but the kids are gonna go out and party tonight. I didn't want them to be at grandma's all hungover, so I figured, well, let's do it on Sunday. So that's what we're gonna do. Uh, yeah, kids like to party. What are you gonna do? Let's see here. Wedding booked for the September couple said not too much dancing, just gave their Spotify list, basically want me to be a jukebox. Yeah, it happens. And I was thinking about this too, and maybe this is something that I'll do a video on before the year's over. There's this whole, who's a real DJ? Are you a real DJ? If you never use records? Are you a real DJ if you use the sync button? All these things. I'm not here to say who is and who isn't a real DJ, but I will say this. I feel like that if you have something to do with the music that's coming out of your speakers, you're a DJ, you know? Even if you didn't pick the music, if you're putting the music in an order that makes the most sense and doing, proper blends and things, absolutely that you're doing your job as a DJ. If someone else has done all of that for you, you're just pressing play and standing there pretending you're like you're doing something all night, you're not really a DJ. But if you have something to do with what you're doing, whether, like I said, it be the volume, it can even be as simple as that, but it should at least be, I would think, being the one who decides how to transition from one track to the other, what order the tracks go in, things like that. Even if you didn't make the playlist, yeah, sure, of course. I think you're absolutely a DJ, and the really good DJs know how to make the best of what's in front of them, and that would be something dumb like a Spotify list. And that's unfortunate that that's what happened. Sometimes I think that clients don't have a lot of faith in what a DJ can do, and so therefore we get stuck with these micromanaging clients. I do, and I kind of mentioned it in the last video too, where if I can give them what they want before they can even ask for it, usually what ends up happening is, oh, yeah, if I can give them what they want and make sense of what they've asked for, make it exciting, put it in a good order, get everybody excited, get everybody happy. If I can give them what they want the first like hour and a half, 2 hours, typically a client will come up to me and say something like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. You did a great job." And I'm looking at, several hours left before the end of the gig. But when they say something like that, what it means is, hey, you gave us what we wanted. Thank you. What's next? What are you going to do next? And that's when I can start, having some fun and taking some liberties. But the first thing I have to do is try to help them realize their vision the best way I can, whether it's a good vision or not. I got to do my best with that. And the better I do with that, the quicker they're going to come up and compliment me, which means that, okay, go ahead and do what you do, dude. That happens a lot. And it's nice when that happens. It's really cool when that happens. Um, there's a question of me knowing the songs quick enough. That's okay. Let's see. I'm not working tonight because I got into it with the club owner. If a club owner tries to make you feel important to gain your loyalty, be cautious. They only have their own best interest in mind. Well, I've worked with some fantastic venue owners and I've worked with some rotten ones. And, I can just say this: whatever you do it really well. And if you see a problem with something, I've learned to be very careful with egos. You can't, I think, effectively go up to a club or a bar owner and say something like, "This is wrong. It needs to be like this." You almost have to make it sound like it's their idea. It's not much different than working with a wedding client. I feel this is very helpful. Instead of me going up to a bride and say, you know what, all the songs that you picked, no one's dancing to them. So I'm going to play what I need to play because otherwise no one's going to dance. It's kind of the wrong way to do it. Say, hey, how are things going? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. They're not dancing like I thought they would. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to try something else? Like make it sound like it's their idea or ask them the question, let them be in charge. If you try to be in charge, then or you try to, act like that you've got the answers, they need to listen to you. It's like damaging their egos and they're not responsive to that. Just like you wouldn't be responsive to it if someone would to approach you like that about your style of DJing or your volumes or anything else. Say, you think you ought to turn it down a little bit? Yeah, maybe so. Make it sound like it's their idea, and I think that's a really good way to manage people. It's like you're managing managers. Ask me how I know how to do that stuff. I've had to do it a lot. Let's see. How about playing a New Year's Eve live stream? No, I got family to hang out with. Blanca and I are gonna hang. We're gonna watch some TV and chill out. It's family time for me. There are gonna be plenty of DJs on Twitch doing that. I've just never done it. I don't know why I would do it. I mean, I don't need to do it. Um, for me anyway. If there were enough people who were like, "Yeah, we need you to do a Twitch set," I would do it. But I don't need to do it to fulfill anything here. I'm good. So, but there's plenty of other DJs out there who are going to be doing it. I'm sure. A lot of our friends who do the Twitch sets will be up there doing it. Watch them. Watch those guys. And I would hope that most people would have something better to do than to stare at their computer watching a DJ do a Twitch set on New Year's Eve, even if they're not going out, even if it's just spending some time with loved ones. Oh, greetings from Argentina. Hello, Argentina. Greetings from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's see. Some strange suggestions here. Getting your local, get the top 10 from your local radio station. I would for a prom. I think that's what you're still talking about. I don't think I would ever suggest you do that. And the reason I don't suggest you do that is because just because a song is popular doesn't mean it's going to be effective. I mean, this is something that is very important. I mean, if you think about really, really popular artists right now, think about Adele, all right? Adele's huge. Adele has all these singles out. She's on the radio all the time. When are you going to play Adele? If you're a wedding DJ or a party DJ, never. Because her songs are breakup songs. No one's ever going to have an Adele song for their first song. You're not going to play one for a slow dance there because it's a downer, depressing thing. It's not happy. So just because it's popular, don't mean you should play it. I mean, that's just one example. So I mean, that's just my philosophy on it. Um, and I don't speak in absolutes. I'm not going to tell you you must do it this way or anything like that. But I would advise against just looking at the popular songs in the top 10 or top 20 or whatever and playing them at an event. I don't think that is the way to go. I think you need to think beyond that. Think about what's effective. Even songs that aren't popular. Think about those songs. You think the Cupid Shuffle ever cracked the top 40? It didn't. Yet it's a huge song. A lot of songs like that. So, just my 2 cents on that. What else we got here? Uh, guess we're having a conversation about this club owner thing. Well, I don't know, man. It's always a two-way street when you have a working relationship with a bar or a club owner. But I will say this: you've got to constantly be doing something different to move forward. If you found a club gig that paid, decent money and you were happy there and there was never a problem and you always stayed there, you would never move forward as a DJ, unfortunately, because you almost have to leave and go somewhere else and start all over again. It's the way it is. You have to climb. You can't just hit a comfort zone and cruise. You have to climb sometimes. So when things go pear shaped with a relationship with a club owner or a bar owner, it's not always a negative. You've got experience. Go out there and get another gig somewhere else. That's how you grow. Try it different next time. Start over. Let's see here. What else we got? That 2 cents well spent. Happy New Year, Kishore P17. Happy New Year to you, sir. Marcus Franklin, what's up, Marcus? Thank you for joining us on our live stream. I'm trying to hit all the comments. That Chris and Gene are having a conversation, I think, along with Ryan. So I'm not necessarily reading their comments because they're speaking to each other. Ben, seen your videos. Ben Bowden, seen your videos from years ago about the Crown XTI amps. I have the 2000, the 4000 cranking amps. I've just bought the DBX drive rack for extra control of them. I currently have Sherwin Vegas. You're doing old school stuff. Yeah. No, I mean, that was science fiction for us, Ben, because, I mean, when I was coming up, the amplifier, and by the way, it was all passive. Everything was passive. Like, You were a rock star if you ran Crown Macrotech. It didn't get better than Crown Macrotech. Those things, I had a 2400 Crown Macrotech 2400. It was the only one I could afford. It actually came out of a wrecked showboat that sunk during Hurricane Katrina. No joke. Even had rust on it and everything, but it worked. I bought it from a Music Around, which is like a music pawn shop out of New Orleans. Or no, Biloxi, Mississippi. So right there. And I ran that for like a year or two. 70 some pounds. I mean, just an absolute boat anchor. Plus, you got to run an additional amp and you need a crossover in there if you're running subs and tops. I mean, it sounded good, but it was just ridiculously heavy and more power than we needed. So when the XTIs came out, that was like, oh my gosh, science fiction. 17 pounds a piece. This is amazing. You know, now it's like, I don't even want that because I'm running, powered speakers. I don't need amplifiers anymore. It's all built in and the math is done for me as far as impedance and, the um, continuous power that the speaker requires. It's all done for me by whatever company makes the product. Like if I'm using EV did it. If I'm using RCF, they did it. FBT, they did it. And the list goes on and on. But yeah, if you're using a passive system, I think they're a good amp, and there's some neat stuff in that DSP menu. And I'll tell you this too. Once you get into active systems, the modern active systems with the DSP menus on them, you don't need that processing gear like you used to. I used to have to run things like sonic maximizers and stuff just to clean the sound up and GEQs, like, all kinds of stuff. I had all this rack gear to try to make it sound good. And looking back on it, it was like putting band-aids on this stuff. There was a fundamental problem with the system somehow. It doesn't sound right for whatever reason. Maybe it's my mixing board, maybe it's my files, whatever it is. But I'm going to put processing gear on to try to improve it. And it does improve it. But I mean, it's so cool now that with the good audio files that I use and the good board I use and sound card and powered speaker that's all matched up in there, I don't have to run any processing gear at all because it's a clean audio chain. It sounds good. And of course, I can make adjustments on that stuff, but I don't have to run any additional gear. That's nice. It's all these little D-class amp chips that, you know, I don't know. If they were in your hand, you wouldn't know what they weigh so little. It's pretty neat stuff that they have these days. Um, yeah, BBE. Hey, Scotland, what's up, man? Marcus Franklin, I have a question. How should I run the Evolve 30M through the mixer on the speaker or a different mixer trying to get good sound from it? Well, it depends on your mixer. Like I said, Marcus, I mean, it's all audio chain stuff. So there are a couple things involved in your audio. Just real quick, I won't dwell on this for too long, but what I mean by audio chain is it starts with your, let's say, your music file. So let's say that you're playing MP3s through Virtual DJ, just for instance. It starts there with the quality of your file, okay? And then it's going to go to the quality of your mixing board or controller, all right? And the sound card that's built into it. The better quality that mixer and sound card is, the better it's going to sound. And of course, that just goes out to your speaker. You don't need anything in between. You shouldn't. If you think it doesn't sound as good as it should, I think it might be, time to have a look at the quality of files you're using. Are you using like at least a 320K MP3? I think that to me is good enough through a service like Promo Only or Top Pitch USA. The good stuff. Look at your file quality and then look at your main board quality, whether it be a controller or a mixing board and the sound card in it. I use the Pioneer stuff. The Denon stuff is nice. I don't know. There's nice stuff out there, but there's also some budget stuff out there that does cut corners. And when you start using that kind of stuff, you will sometimes experience some sound quality degradation. Unfortunately, it degrades the sound quality sometimes. So those are the things that I would look at. The Prime 4, well, that should be a pretty good board. Um, well, okay, let me ask you this, Marcus. Are you following the rules of unity gain? Meaning, are you making sure that the signal that you send out to your speakers is like 0 decibels out of your master? No more than 0 decibels. That's a big one. So, I mean, the Prime 4 is a good system. You do still have to make sure that the mixer is set up right. Okay, good, good. How about your MP3 files? Are you using good stuff, or is some of that stuff maybe? I mean, don't be ashamed if you're not. I mean, a lot of people have had crummy ones for years. Maybe the in the 190s or whatever, and it happens. I had some of that stuff. I had to purge it and bring in the good stuff because it was degrading my sound quality. If you're using good files and you've got a good board with a good sound card, um, you should be all right, man. You should be all right. I don't know what you'd have a problem with there. In fact, on that particular speaker, the one you're talking about, the 30M, I'm not changing DSP settings on it. The only thing I'm doing is I am bringing the mid down a hair, but that's just my personal preference. Marcus, try this. Just try this. Download yourself a really good 320K file and play something through that. Try that and tune your speakers to that. 192, that's probably the weakest link in your audio chain is that 192 file. You want to make sure everything is at least 320K. You can even go FLAC, you can go wave, you can go higher quality than that. But you absolutely want to run at least a 320K file. I mean, storage is pretty cheap these days. I would recommend doing that. Well, a lot of that too, Marcus, depends on what your sound objectives are. I mean, the 30Ms aren't supposed to rock the house. The 30Ms are supposed to spread sound evenly through a small to medium sized room. If you're trying to, you know, knock the glass out of the windows with bass, these are probably not your speaker, but I think they're really good for small to medium sized events. It's what I use. For my purposes, up to 150 people, that's my go-to speaker. If I go above that, I do the Evolve 50s. If I go above like 2.25, I'm stepping into the Electro Voice EKX series. But it really all ultimately depends on what your sound objectives are. But all those Evolve 30Ms are supposed to do is give you good even sound throughout the room, not loud booming sound. You're supposed to have conversations over this stuff. That's how I use them anyway. But I don't know. Just some thoughts on that. Um, what else we got here? Let's see. One question, Brian: how do you balance safety with being close proximity to the crowds? I was worried about me. Someone just is messaging me like crazy. I'm going to turn this off. I'm trying to. Okay. I always worried about maintaining a safe bubble, not getting anyone I care about sick versus having fun. Oh well, I don't know. I'm using the ADJ Pro Vent table. I mean, that is 2 feet deep, right? So that's the buffer. Plus, I'm not right up against it. I'm back a bit, and I do discourage people from coming behind the booth. So I feel like that's a relatively safe distance. Although I haven't gigged since October. Not a mobile gig. I did that Welcome to Rockville big like Metallica music festival in November. That was different. But yeah, I'm not right up in anybody's face, I guess. And I'm vaccinated and I've got the booster. Um, I'm not being too concerned about it. But yeah, I mean, if you are, I mean, just you can use your system almost as a barrier. If you're smart about how you set it up, I think. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm just reading here. I'm going back to Marcus. Said, do I uh, have a Go Rack? Should I use that? No, the Go Rack, by the for me anyway, the only thing I use the Go Rack for is as a microphone mixer. It's not something I run through the speakers. The Go Rack is like a mixing board for microphones where I can add compression to it, and then I run it into the auxiliary on my main mixing board out to the speakers. I'm not running it between my main mixing board and the speakers, if that makes sense to you. So that's the only way I'm using a Go Rack. Okay, what do we got here? Go Rack could Go Rack could be helpful in accomplishing better sound, louder. No, it is what it is. Um, but you can't buy them anymore anyway, so it's irrelevant. Okay, the real DJ Red is here. Um, I thought I was the real DJ Red, and then this guy popped up. He's the real DJ Red. So I yield to the real DJ Red. How you doing? Hello and happy New Year to you. Hope all's going well. Let's see here. And no matter what we talk about here, everyone's going to have a different opinion. Do not take what anybody says as gospel. Don't do it. Not what I say, not what anybody in the chat says. Do some research. I mean, listen to people you trust, but you know, beware of those who preach. Just beware of those who preach. Some people just want to act like they sound like they're talking about, and they don't. I certainly try to not tell you matter of fact anything. I'm not that guy. I try not to be that guy. I try to tell you, what my opinions are on things, but I try not to tell you it is this way. So just be cautious of that. Like false prophets out there, just be careful. Um, well, well, thank you, Marcus. I really do appreciate your faith in me, and I will always do my best to try to steer you in the right direction. Yeah, my best advice to you really would be to, well, first of all, understand what the speakers are. They're not going to be, like this giant 18-inch sub, top ETX booming system. They're going to be a small system for smaller rooms, and it's just good, clean sound. If you're trying to make it loud, they're not the loudest speakers in the world, but they're clear and they travel well. And then, again, I would really consider looking at playing some really good quality files through them and seeing how different that is than playing your 192s. I think you're going to hear a difference. I really think you're going to hear a difference on that. I've really tried to just steer you guys in the right direction. So thank you for your faith in me and your confidence. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to entertain you and do flashy videos. I'm here to try to help. So thanks. I'm glad that you guys get it. I'm glad that's why you tune in. Yeah, try it, Marcus, and please let me know how it works out for you. Just try it. Just pick a cool song, something that's produced well. And what would that be? The Bruno Mars stuff is produced pretty well. The Weeknd stuff's produced pretty well too. Just off the top of my head, just songs with high production quality, like something like I used to love doing speaker tests with 24K Magic. But then I go back to when I'm testing speakers out and I play stuff that's like old, recordings from the 70s and such, high quality files of that. I was over at FBT in Puerto Rico, out of Italy, and I was hanging out with the sound engineer. And he was playing stuff off of Dire Straits Brothers in Arms. He was playing, what was the other one? Oh, I remember. Blurred Lines. It was Robin Thicke, right? Was that his name, Robin Thicke? See, I don't remember his name. His dad was somebody else Thicke. It was a Thicke. I don't remember if it was Robin or what the other guy's name was. It was Robin Thicke, maybe. I don't remember. Anyway, there's certain songs that sound engineers like to play just because of the quality of the sound. I do weird stuff like Steely Dan always has great sound. The quality of the sound is always fantastic. So if you have like a really good Steely Dan recording, and you have a clean file of that, that's a great speaker testing song. Some of the Paul McCartney Wings stuff I thought was really good, like Silly Love Songs. Joni Mitchell was fantastic stuff to play around with. Um, just to check out and see what your speaker's really capable of. You play good, clean audio files through them, good, clean recordings, and that's the best your speakers are going to sound. You know, and you just go from there. Alan Thicke, there you go. Okay, Alan Thicke is the dad, and Robin Thicke was there. You go. Thank you, Marcus. I couldn't remember. The dad passed away, Alan passed away, and Robin was the singer. Yep, that's the one. Remastered stuff is like, and you'll see it if you go on YouTube. Don't play the YouTube stuff through your computer, but you'll see that sometimes what they can do is take an old recording and they'll go through it and they'll clean it up and they'll release what they call a remaster of like old tracks. Like there's crazy stuff like old Yes stuff from 71 they've remastered. They've remastered a lot of the Beatles stuff, a lot of the Police stuff. And sometimes you'll see like it's a remaster 2001 or remaster 2008 or remaster this year. I mean, they're always remastering tracks. They're taking technology and they're trying to clean up the background noise and enhance some of the things on it. A lot of people don't like the remastered stuff. I personally love the remastered stuff. So that stuff is fun to play with. Oh yeah, the Metallica Black album is actually really good. And there's Dave Clevenger. What's up, dude? Dave is a good guy. I've known Dave for quite a while. He's been here to the dungeon before. Dave and I are actually from the same hometown, Richmond, Indiana. So it's good to see you, Dave. I hope all is going well for you. Hope you're hanging in there. Okay, what do we got here? I'm just looking here. Oh, the MEX thing in February. I'm not planning on attending that. No. We went in with that gentleman who produces that show in 2020. We really thought we did a good job producing that show, co-producing it on the DJ end of things. We worked very hard. We invested our time, and he really wasn't interested in working with us. He felt like he could do the show better without us. So I wish him well, but I definitely won't be investing any more time in that show with that, unless he wants us to come in and help. So no, I won't be there. Well, let's see here. Title's good files, yeah. Title does a good job. I think Title is probably the best quality you can get out there, and they Title's on VDJ, and I think they're on DJ as well. So yeah, Title's a legit streaming service. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen if it gets canceled or not, but yeah, we really gave it a shot. We wanted to work with that guy. The whole Disc Jockey News team went in. Guys like Howie and Jay and Bill Herman and oh man, just you name it, they were there. MJ, Shaney, we were all there trying to just put on this bang up show. We were co-producing with him, and yeah, he just wasn't interested in working with us again. So I wish him well, and I wish the show well, but I will not be attending. All right, let's see here. What budget mic would you recommend? Well, what kind of mic do you want? Do you want a wireless mic? Do you want a wired mic? There's all kinds of good microphones out there. I mean, the Shure SM58. I just bought 3 of them for that Welcome to Rockville show in Daytona Beach. Wired, $99. But the Shure SM58 is like the Technics 1200 of microphones. It's a really good mic. They're bulletproof. They sound good. People have them in their riders. There are vocals that you've heard on professional recordings where they've used Shure SM58s. Like when Chris Rock does his stand-up specials, he's got an SM58 in his hand. They're a good mic, and I don't know, $100, $99. Now, how budget do you want to go? There's Behringer stuff out there. You can buy 3 for $30, but something good and reliable. It's going to last you. It's the Road Warrior. I think a Shure SM58 is a really good wired mic. Wireless, you never know. Um, there's wireless mic for weddings. I would say don't go with the ultra budget stuff for that. I've done it. I've got some stuff here from a couple different companies. Some of that stuff that promises to sound fantastic, and it's for like 200, 250 bucks. I've used the stuff. It works really well until it doesn't. Here's what happens. So when you're working with like low budget wireless stuff, typically they're using the easiest and least expensive technology to transmit, right? Like they're not going to go with some high cost technology to put into the system they're trying to keep the price low on. And that's cool because it does work, right? It just is not an expensive uh, technology they're putting into these systems to communicate with each other. The only problem is that every other company out there wants to use the same low cost technology as well. So it goes into the alarm systems, it goes into everybody's phones, it goes into all this wireless stuff that's happening in a city or in a banquet hall with 150 people with electronics in their pocket. So you get interference. It's happened to me so many times. The last time it happened to me was in October. It was at my nephew's wedding. I was getting interference on the wireless microphone that I was going to use for toasts and speeches. I used a really good quality mic for the ceremony, but the mic I was using for toasts and speeches, it was cutting out. It was embarrassing. And I had to swap it out between toasts. And the mic that I went with was something that was a step up. They could pay it around 500-600 bucks for it. It's a better microphone. Not a budget though. So I would really be leery of budget wireless microphones for things like weddings. Go ahead and spend a couple bucks because if you don't, it could be very frustrating. It would be worth the money to you, I think, to spend double of what you were planning on spending. If you're planning on spending 250 bucks, just go 500. Just do that. It's going to last you longer. It's going to be better quality, and it's going to probably give you less problems. So that's my 2 cents on that. Some idea. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, the 50. I think the 50 aren't the 57s the supercardioid? Oh, the beta 58s. That's what they are. Yeah, the beta 58s are the supercardioid. I've got one of those too. Those are cool. The difference between cardioid and supercardioid is the pickup pattern. So, like, let's say the cardioid microphone has a pickup pattern that looks like my hand. A supercardioid would have one that looks like this. So it's much more directional and it doesn't pick up a lot of background noise. But most people still use the SM58. 58 beta is a good mic too. Brian, non DJ question. Even though Christmas is over, we're still having wet and frigid nights. Any tips for winterizing your house and protecting your house, not have damage or headaches? Well, I mean, where I live in the world, it's cold, and this is just what you do. You have good windows. You make sure you in good doors, and you make sure everything's sealed up properly. When you're broke, you put plastic over your windows as a vapor barrier because you can't afford new windows. You always insulate your attic, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, and the other thing is make sure that what I have to do down here is I've got to check the foundation for cracks. I got a brick foundation, so I've got to make sure that there are no lateral cracks anywhere in the foundation because cold air can come through on those. The other thing that I do, because I have essentially 3 stories in this house, the basement, the main level, and the second floor. 4 if you count the attic, actually. It's a big house. Well, it's a tall house, but heat rises. So what I do with the HVAC system is I will open the vents wide open on the second level, the main level of the house. Let's say the main level of the house of wide open vents. On the top level of the house, I will close the vents probably 2/3 of the way for wintertime. So the downstairs gets warm, that heat rises upstairs and heats the upstairs. In the summertime, I do the opposite. I close the vents off on the second level and I open the vents wide, or on the main level, and I open the vents wide on the second level because the cold air lowers. So it's all cold air upstairs and it comes down to the lower level. If I didn't do that, if I just had the cold air coming downstairs, it would just freeze the basement. You'd never get hot air on the second floor. In the wintertime, it's kind of the same thing. If I had all the hot air just going upstairs, it would never come down to the main floor, so it would be cold because that's just how heat works. Let's see here. Cool. I think did I catch up for everybody? You've always motivated me to see you do events post stroke and not complain. What motivates you to keep going? Well, I don't know. You're only here once, right? I mean, that's what I believe anyway. I don't know that we're getting second chances after we go around on this particular um, journey. So if I want to continue to do things, I better figure out how to do them and do them. Otherwise, I'm done, and I don't want to be done. I've got things to do and things to say, and the other thing is, well, I got a family, and I want to make sure that they're taken care of and they have what they need, and I don't want to be anybody's problem. I want to be able to take care of stuff as much as I can, and there are things I need help with, and so if it's kind of a drag that I need help with it, but I do. Um, I try to do as much as I can on my own without any help, and it feels good to do that. So I don't know. Just I figure out ways to do it, and I do it. I can either be that guy everybody feels sorry for, or I could be somebody that maybe somebody looks to and says, "Hey, if that guy can do it, I can do it." I'd rather be that inspiration than that. Oh, that poor guy. I would much rather be the inspiration. Um, oh, yeah, this old house. Yep, this old house. And speaking of this old house, this place will be 117 years old in 2022. It's for America, by the way, that's old. For Europe, that's a new house. For America, that's old. So yeah, it is old. It is an old house. Well, guys, I'm gonna bounce. I just wanted to do this live stream and say hello to everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it if you did. It helps the channel. I will do my best to get another video up before the year's over. I've got 10 hours to do that, so I better get on it. Let's see. Well, we got a couple more questions here. Is that browser? Oh, I don't know anything about that. Is dancing on the cloud still popular on your site? Here in South Africa, it's still very expensive. Um, I've never done it. Nobody asks for it, but I know some people do offer it and they do it. The Ryobi, well, their little Ryobi power thing, it's not what they call pure sine wave, so I haven't used it. I guess if you don't use a pure sine wave uh, power source, it could damage your stuff. Um, I don't know enough about electricity. There are some Ryobi things that are a step up in the air, pure sine wave, that you could use. But no, I haven't. I haven't used what I have. I know there are things out there you can use, but I haven't used them. That's just an investment I got to make, and quite frankly, I don't need it. I've figured out my solutions for doing the battery powered stuff for like the ceremony system, with the Maui 5 Go and the tablet, and then the little Colorado Sound and Light power pack. If I hadn't, though, yeah, maybe I would, invest in one of the the higher end pure sine wave Ryobi power sources, or someone's, and a big battery for that. I might do that. 2 hours away from 2022. Well, Happy New Year to all of you. Really appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for your continued support. Really appreciate it. Always here for you. I always try to at least check, the comments and stuff in my latest videos. I don't always, I'm not always able to go back several videos. There's too many videos. There's too many things going on. But in the latest video, I try to monitor those questions and comments and things and answer them. So if you ever have anything that you want answers to, have a question, something I can help you out with, I'll do my best. Um, let's see. Rob says, greetings from Boston. COVID is back with our city making everyone wear masks. Yeah, it's going around. We're not wearing masks yet, but I mean, I don't know. We're fully vaccinated with booster. We've had a lot of people in our family who haven't had the vaccination who have had COVID. We've even known a few people who have had the vaccination with the booster and have gotten it. It hasn't been as severe, but right now there's no mandate on anything. We have no mandate on that. Let's see here. Hey, man, I try to keep it real. I appreciate you watching. I really do appreciate your support. Once again, thank you so much. And I don't know, man. Here's to a great 2022. And I will always do my best to try to help you guys out and throw some stuff out there for you. And unfortunately, I still won't be making some really pretty polished videos for you. You're going to have to deal with my dodgy punk videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. I'm going to kill this right now. Practice and enjoy.